I have a parking fairy. I'm 14 years old. I can't drive, I don't like cars, and I have a parking fairy. Rochelle, my best friend, gets a clothes shopping fairy, and she's always well attired. I get a parking fairy, and I always smell faintly of petrol. How fair is that? I love clothes and shopping too. Yes, I have a fine family, and yes, Rochelle's family is malodorous. She does deserve some kind of compensation. But why couldn't I have, I don't know, a good hair fairy? Or, not even that, Deuce, a loose change finding fairy. Lots of people have that one. Rochelle's dad, Sandra's cousin, Mum's best friend's sister. I'd wholly settle for a loose change finding fairy. It can be arduous hanging out with Rochelle. She always looks Deuce in her perfect clothes, and sometimes I get bored going shopping with her all the time, even when her fairy is working for me. Sometimes I look forward to rainy days, even though it means we have to play tennis indoors. Her fairy doesn't work on rainy days. My fairy has no objection to rain. She just doesn't do anything useful, except make sure that whatever car I'm in finds the perfect parking spot. That's why I'm walking home. It's all part of my campaign to get rid of my fairy. I'm starving her of opportunities to do her thing, so she'll want to go and be somebody else's fairy. Our Zora Ann says this is the best method for getting rid of a fairy. It's how she got a charisma fairy after having been born with a never getting lost fairy. Our Zora Ann never went anywhere for 10 years, so she couldn't get lost. And then one morning she woke up with a brand new fairy, and before she knew it, she was a star. That could totally happen to me. So I walk. I take the bus or the ferry. So I walk. I could take the bus or the ferry or the light rail, because it's not like they need to park. But somehow walking seems more wearisome for a parking fairy. For 2 months now, I've walked everywhere. I haven't even ridden my bike or my skateboard. For all I know, my fairy may be gone. But I can't be sure, and there's no signs of a new one. I've read everything in the library about fairies, especially anything that touches on the question of getting rid of one. No one has ever seen a fairy. There are lots of photo sites, but well, they're clearly fake. Or they're so indistinct and smudgy it could be anything. Some people don't think it's a fairy that makes sure that every car I get into gets a parking spot. Some say they're ghosts or some kind of spirit, and some people don't believe it's anything but luck. My mum has many theories. She's the one who figured out what my fairy was. I was still a baby. She had to go into town every day for a week because she was giving evidence in a court case. And Brianna, who used to look after me back then, well, she was sick, so Mum had to bring me in and give me to the lawyer's associate to mind while she was on the stand. Anyway, every single day I was with her, she got a parking spot in front of the court in the only spot without a parking meter. It didn't matter how late she was running or whether it was raining or anything. The only time it didn't work was when Dad took a day off to mind me. Mum ended up having to park practically where we lived and catch a bus in. Bingo, my mum thought. My daughter has a parking fairy. After that, she put it to the test and found parking spots outside the Opera House, in the Ranges, and right near the New Avalon cricket ground on the first day of the Millennium Test. Incontrovertible proof that her first child had a parking fairy. And the beginning of my life in cars. I'm always being borrowed by my mum or one of her sisters or her best friend Jan or Nana or Papa or just about everyone in our neighbourhood whenever they're going to the doctors or grocery shopping or anywhere that parking might be a problem. Every single day of my life, someone asks me to get in their Doc's Head car. I hate cars. I hate drivers. I hate their little squeals of joy when they find a parking spot. But mostly, I hate my benighted parking fairy.